Hey everybody, it's Rob again. Just a short lesson tonight. Don't worry about using signals in your citations. So, what are signals? Signals give valuable information without a detailed explanation. So like in the real world, if you're 50 and come up to me in a bar and ask if you can buy me a drink and I roll my eyes, I've given you a signal. Signals and citations work very similarly. A signal explains how the authority cited relates to the text it follows, and in some cases, how it relates to other material in the same citation sentence. It's always going to be italicized, and you can read more about them on page 54. The first kind of signal is a supportive signal. You already know one. It's not using a signal. That means that the cited authority directly states the proposition. Now you can use e.g. when the cited authority states the proposition and other authorities also state the proposition, but citation to them would not be helpful or is not necessary. You'll notice that the periods are italicized, but the comma is not. Then you have accord. This is for when two or more sources state or clearly support the proposition, but the text quotes or refers to only one. You would then introduce other sources by using accord. Now C means that you need an inferential step. The proposition is not directly stated by the cited authority, but it obviously follows from it. C also is when you have additional source material that also supports the proposition. CF, which literally means compare, means that the cited authority supports a proposition different from the main proposition, but is sufficiently analogous to lend support. Comparative signals. Well, there's just one comparative signal. This is going to be when you want to compare two authorities, and that comparison is what's going to offer support for or illustrate the proposition that you're making. So compare has to be used with. The with is preceded by a comma, as is and when and is used. So you can compare two authorities to two other authorities, or three authorities to 8 other authorities, just connecting them all with and then separating the two propositions that you're comparing with. We also have contradictory signals. Contra is when the cited authority directly states the contrary of the proposition. This is used where no signal would be used for support, so it's kind of exactly the opposite of no signal. We also have but C, which is exactly the opposite of C. It's when it clearly supports a proposition contrary to the main proposition. We also have but CF. I bet you're catching on by now. This is the exact opposite of CF. It's when the cited authority supports a proposition analogous to the contrary of the main proposition. Now notice that but should be omitted from but C and but CF whenever one of these signals follows another negative signal. So that whole two negatives making a positive thing that you might remember from math class way back when works here too. We also have a background signal. C generally can be used when the cited authority presents helpful background material related to the proposition. Now, sometimes it's not going to be exactly clear how your signal is being used, and you might need a parenthetical to explain how everything connects. And this handy chart here is going to tell you when you should probably use a parenthetical. So all of those on the left, the connection should be fairly obvious. It's pretty direct. If anything, there's just a slight inferential step that the reader should be able to make in their head themselves. But then parentheticals are encouraged for see also and see generally, and then parentheticals are strongly recommended for those on the right. Hint, strongly recommended means pretty much required. Now you can use multiple signals in one citation sentence. So when more than one signal is used in a citation, the signals, along with the authorities they introduce, should be used in the order they are listed in Rule 1.2. So go ahead and check out page 54 and see how they're all listed in order. They're also the order we just learned them in. When e.g. is used in conjunction with another signal, the other signal's position should be used. And then within each signal, the order of authorities should conform to Rule 1.4. Signals of the same basic type must be strung together within a single citation sentence and separated by semicolons, but signals of different types must be grouped in different citation sentences. So here is a big example of lots of signals and parentheticals in action. You just kind of want to pause and take a look at it. I'll give you kind of an example of how it all looks in practice. And that's it. I know it's really in the abstract now. Again, we're going to get a lot of practice in tomorrow in class, and you'll have a better idea of how they work, and you'll just get better and better as the year goes on. But go ahead and relax for the night, because that is it for signals.